Hello. Sorry, eldest child needed their mother, and I couldn't exactly have a conversation like that live without you listening in. I think that would have been strange. Any road, we are. Where are we? We were talking about Swan Song. Yes. So it's a pretty penny, isn't it, to be able to afford it? And Frank Dearborn, do us a banging job, Frank, my love. Can't wait to see. I just honestly cannot wait to see what you're going to do regarding the Swan Song universe. I can't wait to see what America is going to look like. And most I am curious about is our Lord Alvin. Who are you going to get to play the kingpin of the supermarket? Who I feel, I really hope that you run with the idea and give Alvin more of a storyline. I mean, he does crop up a couple of times throughout the book, but there is so much that needs to be fitted in to the story of over, or just, should I say, just under 1,000 pages. So you can tell immediately it's an epic, it's an odyssey, it's a devotional undertaking to pick this book up and read it. But I guarantee you will not regret it. As far as nuclear war stories go, I've got to say it's up there with Neville Shoots on the Beach and Alas Babylon by Pat Frank. You don't normally get such a wide range of characters and such a different perspective on nuclear war in horror. It's completely unique. There isn't another book out there quite like Swan Song in regards of its subject matter and the characterization within the story and the premise, the storyline. It's just an odyssey. And it'll take you some time because it's a chunky read. And there's, dare I say, some very disturbing parts within this book. Some very, it'll make your toes curl. You'll be wanting to bleach your eyeballs. It is just excellent. And it defines an era. It really does. It screams the 1980s at you. And it's just, how can I describe it? It's like Threads and The Day After decided to get together for a one-night stand and they created Swan Song. Yeah, it's the best out of both of them, written into a fictional story of good and evil against the backdrop of nuclear war. It is that good. So yeah, if you can get yourself a copy of Dark Harvest, that's your publisher's Dark Harvest, you're looking minimum £1,000 just to get one of those books. And as I said, there are only 1,000 ever printed. They are all individually numbered. And if you can get yourself a copy, then good on you, because I've never been able to find one that I can't even afford to touch the cover. Right? So, if you can get hold of one of those, yeah, well done. Another, let me think. Paperbacks from hell. They're going through the roof, aren't they? With their pricings. Goodness me. Oh, hi, Helen. Yes, the struggle has started again. I'm doing someone's bedding today, my darling. I don't have much further to go. It's the last of my big sheets. And I've got pillowcases after this. Yeah. Yeah, the paperbacks from hell. If you can, here's one for you. Chaz Ballon, 59th and Hell Street. It's only a small paperback novel, right? And again, there were only, I think, ever 1,000 printed. Paperback Maniac a few years ago on YouTube, and you'll be able to find him. I think the guy's based out in Los Angeles. And he's called Paperback Maniac. And he managed to get a copy of Chaz Ballon's 59th and Hell Street. Well, that's an Easter tale with a bit of a twist. No good deed shall go unpunished. If you thought the family man, he loved his wife and children so, and wants them all to sing with the angels. Happy Easter, everybody! Shall we go and look and see what the rabbit left behind? What's that song they were singing? All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. God made every one of us. He's going to kill us all. Each brain he smashes with a hammer. Each liver he cuts out. He's going to make an almighty mess. Let's run and scream and shout. Let's run away from Daddy now, before he kills us all. There'll be bits of Mum all over the floor. Oh dear God, help us all. So yes, 59th and Hell Street, Chaz Ballon. I thought being 3 sheets to the wind was meant to be much more fun. Indeed, my darling, it should be. Unfortunately. Well, here we are, living the dream. Anyway, Chaz Ballon. I think he managed to pick that novel up for about $500. And that was a good few years ago. But these, if they ever come onto the market, which is a rarity in itself, because Chaz Ballon used to do Fangoria magazine. I think he was a writer for it or an editor. Don't quote me on that. I can't quite remember because it is an American publication, not a British one. anyway, happy Easter for all the inhabitants of 59th and Hell Street, because you are going to have an Easter that you're not going to forget, my darlings. I mean, everybody, and I mean everybody, is spring fever. Each and every person has the divine light of righteousness, and we are going to mingle with the angels, and we are going to submit ourselves to our Dark Lord. Yes. And it's the depraved way we go about joining the choir invisible and taking as many withers as possible, and all that goes on in between. The scene at the church with the vicar, I think that's seared into my mind and will never, ever not be in my head. It's going to live rent-free in my brain until I go in the ground. Yes, the morning chorus of the parishioners, as they're all quite, yeah, the humiliation of the local vicar and his devoted flock. Oh my goodness me. And you can see why this is a book that it's up there with Jack Ketchum's Off Season, right, for horrificness. And it's just wall-to-wall brutality. Wow. Like I say, if you're going on an Easter egg hunt in this book, you're going to be going out with a grenade launcher for the Easter bunny. You really are. It is. It's just phenomenal. It does not let up from the moment you pick that book up till you finish it. And it's not a long story. You're left at the end like this thinking, what the did I just read? And like I said, if you can get hold of a copy of Chas Ballam's 59th and Hell Street, I will tell you when it was written. Let me see. I'm at Google. Chas Ballam, 59th and Hell Street. Chas Ballam, 59 and Hell Street. No, won't do it. Okay. Sorry, 9th and Hell Street. I want to keep calling it 59th and Hell Street, but it's 9th and Hell Street. Ballam was the founder of his own self-published magazine, Deep Red, and the author of the novel 9th and Hell Street. (1989) Chunk Blow Press. You will be blowing chunks when you're reading this book. That's the one you're looking for. 9th and Hell Street by Chas Ballam. If you can get a copy of this, wowee. Like I say, you must be absolutely minted, and also have connections, because believe me, the opportunity to own one of those is very rare indeed. I mean, it's literally a dead man's option to be able to purchase it, because the person that owns it would have to die, because I don't think they'd ever give it up. It's just a brutal book. It's brutal from the start of the book right up to the end. There's a scene within it, the infamous, I think it's a hospital, a children's ward where all the babies are. And you wouldn't want to have been born that day, because all the nurses turned psychotic. And let's just say, none of these kids are going to make the first birthday. I don't think they're going to last the first week. And it's on and on and on and on. It's absolutely relentless, and right up to the end. And you're reeling at the end of it. You're like, oh, sweet Jesus, what did I just read? And it's up there with very disturbing literature. Definitely. It's as disturbing to me as Rudolf Wurlitz's Quake. And if you're not familiar with that, it's based on the big one in Los Angeles, the big earthquake, the biggest, the world ending, the most apocalyptic, absolutely never seen a magnitude 10 on the Richter scale style earthquake. And if that's not bad enough, it's the outcome of the earthquake and what it does to humanity. That book's relentless. You never know the main character's name, our narrator. He's just known as the Drifter. And the Drifter recounts, and it's done in a day, right? The whole story is written in a day, and it's a novella. It's not very long. I managed to get a copy of it a few years ago now, and in hardback, and it was about £60. But if you don't know who Rudolf Wurlitzer is, you know the Wurlitzer jukeboxes? Well, it's his grandson. He wrote it. And we start off with meeting some very salubrious weirdo characters in a local motel. And there's loads of people hanging out by the pool, and there's people in the rooms, and everybody's chilling. It's the 1970s, the mamas and the papas, everything, drugs, rock and roll, whatever, floaty boat, right? Boom, 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 massive earthquake, everything gets torn up, and this is humanity's swan song into the depths of depravity and hell, and what levels we will go to depict harm on our fellow man before we all go to meet our maker. And I've done a review on Quake as well for you, in case you were wondering. And it's by Rudolf Wurlitzer, and our narrator, the Drifter, he tries to comprehend just what's happened while he's walking through downtown LA, and he's accosted by the local residents to join a crew of rescue units to go and see if they can rescue people out of crumbled apartment blocks and buildings and whatnot. And it's the people that the drifter meets along the way. And it's the slow descent into madness of what man does to man throughout the novel until we can get to the end with the natural conclusion of everybody's going to die. That's it. The world's over. The world is dying on its axis, and everything on the planet is going to go the same way, and the earthquake's just going to rip straight through, and it's going to be a continental earthquake, and there's going to be nothing left at the end of it. And people and animals alike slowly going insane, losing their minds, and the depth of depravity that everybody commits on everybody else. And the worst ones are the Red Cross ladies. Supposedly the Red Cross nurses are going out there, and the proviso that they're supposed to be helping the local residents in the area that they're being assigned to. And instead of handing out bottles of water and cans of Coke, they're charging everyone. They're turning around and making money on people's misery. And you're like, hang a minute, this is the Red Cross. They're not supposed to be doing that. Hey, they're walking around and they're like, you'll soon be with Jesus, children. That's cost you a nickel if you want a Coca-Cola. I think that is going to stick in my mind for a rent-free for the rest of my years. And the army, the United States Army, and how deranged the National Guard was. I mean, they took living in hell to the next level. I mean, you're gonna have, I don't know, international terrorists saying, "Whoa, calm down now, lads. That's just a bit much." You know, international terrorists will be going, you know what, I can't unsee what you've just done. Right? That's how deranged the Home Guard is. And that, again, that's up there with Jack Ketchum's Off-Season. Now, you may have heard me talk about Jack Ketchum before. American writer, part of the Unholy Trilogy, Sean Hudson, Jack Ketchum, and Richard Lehman, right? The Unholy Trilogy. Satan was busy when he was creating those three writers. But yeah, Jack Ketchum wrote a story set in the coastal area, village area of Maine, about a group of people that rented a holiday cottage for a weekend. If we were going to bring it into modern day terms, they would all have rented an Airbnb, and they would have been having a little party, unbeknownst to them, but knowns to everybody else. They're all screaming, "Don't stay there! Don't stay there! Pack your bags, get in your car and drive like hell. Get out, right? Do not stay. Do not party on down." Because, no. And then Ooh, home invasion gone very, very wrong. You see, these things, mutants, inbreeding family of the Sawney Beans, well, the inhabitants of the Airbnb are just about to go on the menu. Oh, yes, indeed they are. Absolutely. And they're going to be picked up one by one and put into the pot for later on. Yes. That's what the Sawney Beanies want. They want their food and they're going to get it. Any means possible. And it's absolutely terrifying. It makes Deliverance look tame. And if you know the Jack Bowman film Deliverance, no, it's like Jack Ketchum looked at that book and said, "Hold me beer," and he gave us Off Season. And I read that book Off Season. I would have been, what, 18 or 19 years of age? And I can honestly say my eyes will never unsee what I have seen, and the most horrific death that I have ever read in my, I'll go to the foot of our stairs, as we say in Yorkshire. I've ever seen anything quite like that, and I don't ever think I'll ever read anything quite like that ever again. Let's just say it took her a long time to die, and they did it in the most horrific way possible. They really, really did. The closest I've come to anything like the death of that young girl would be in Cormac McCarthy's The Road, the scene with the baby. And if you've read that, you know what I'm on about. But even that pales into significance when I think about how the character in Off Season, how they got her. Holy moly. I think I found the level of what I'm uncomfortable with when it comes to reading. I really, really am. I think, yeah, I definitely found the level. And anything by Jack Ketchum, wow. You need time to decompress when you finish reading one of his books, definitely. And you need a stiff drink while you're doing the reading. In fact, it's the only book I've probably come across that I think should come with a fair warning on the cover before anybody sits down and decides to read it. Right? I mean, I'm nearly 50 and I still feel a bit funny and feel a bit off when I'm thinking about the novel. And like I say, it's going to live up here rent-free for the rest of my days until they put me in the ground. Because once you've seen something like that, once you've read something like that, you can never unsee it. And wow, yeah, it's quite the undertaking. Now, that's the one I need. Okay, so I'm just busy writing at the moment. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That seems unusual. I lost one. Oh. Okay. Check that again. Nope, I was correct. Okay, that's that one done. That is going to go in there. And I am going to go and get a fresh one. I will be back in 4 minutes, my darlings. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Right, I've got to the end of my iron. I just want to say thank you so very much for tuning in. And I should be back a little bit later, hopefully, with some more subjects that we can talk about. Take care, my darlings. Bye-bye.